So here we are again, and as I mentioned, what we're going to be doing is taking these images here, which are not linking to anything, they're just dummy links at this moment, and we're going to go about creating the secondary elements on this page and in this site. In other words, we're going to make page 2, 3, and 4. So let's go about doing that. What I'm going to ask you to do is to open up your Files window, or as you can see here, you can click on this icon. And what I would ask you to do is to keep our root folder nice and neat. In other words, I would like us to actually go about right-clicking on this element and saying New Folder. So I'm not going to put the other pages right next to the index page. We're just going to put them inside this folder here. And this folder I will just name Web. It's not necessarily an industry standard or anything like that, but it just indicates to me, as you know, I'm trying to be as intuitive as possible, and our naming convention here says, look, all the other web pages are inside this folder called Web. So I'm going to right click on that and ask you to create a new file, and this new file I want you to name, as we can see here, we've decided for about, gallery, contact, so let's just add those, about.html. Right click again, new file, I'm going to call this one gallery.html, and one more time, new file, and we're going to call this one not gallery, not about, but contact. So now we've got these three pages inside of Web, which I can collapse and expand. I'm going to ask you to keep it expanded. Now, if you were to open up any one of these pages, just like before, these are blank pages. Now, don't worry about that so much, because we will populate those pages with information soon enough. And in fact, we will not have to rebuild things. Since we've got the index page here built already, and I'm happy with the way it looks, what we're just going to do is just copy paste it and create the About, Gallery, and Contact page based on what we have here. Now, you might remember I had promised that in those other pages we are going to create a 2-column design instead of a 3-column design. Well, that'll all work itself out in just a second when we get to that point. But before we do anything else, why don't we fix these links and make sure that they actually work. So one of the things that I can do is to actually show you a little trick here. I'm going to just open up the Files window. I'm going to place it over here on the side. And the reason I'm doing that is so that I could show you this little trick. There's a lot of ways of creating links. That is no longer the link that I want. So one of the ways I could do that is to just say browse for file down here in the properties window. Select your element, you know, whether that be text or whether that be the image, as this one is. And once that image is selected, then to apply link to it, we can come here and we can browse for the file, right? So just click on this and point to the file that you want. That's a great way to do it, not really a problem. But here's another way. You can actually click down on the point to file icon, and don't let go. Keep dragging it over to the file you want to point to, in this case the About HTML page. When you let go, there you go, you got your link in place. And it basically says, go to the folder called Web, find me about.html. Exactly what happened. Now I'm going to select this particular piece of text, and we're going to get rid of that link. I'll point to the file. Remember, this is supposed to go to the gallery section. So here I am. I'm going to let go when I'm on top of the gallery section, and look at the link. Nice, easy way of creating that. So I'm going to do the same thing for contact, and as you can see, that's all done, nicely in place. So I'm going to save that file, Command S. You can even preview this if you wish. For example, if I go to Firefox and I click on this page, did it work? I don't know. It's got a blank page. Well, as you can see up here, what are we pointing to? We're pointing to, on the desktop, type root, in a folder called Web, the About.html page. All right, fantastic. So, in other words, we know that things are working. This is going to gallery. I'll hit the back. This is going to contact. So that's all fine and dandy. Now what we're going to do is to talk about creating the graphics that we're going to be using for the second, third, and fourth pages. And we will switch to from a 3-column layout and switch to a two-column layout. And basically what we're going to be going for is having this element here, having a larger image over here with some text underneath it, and that might incur a scroll bar, but should be fine. And in this section, I also want to place, you know, 2 or 3 other links because we don't have these ones up at the top anymore either. So that's what we're going to be doing.